Welcome to my channel, Old Coins Quarter Dollar, where history lives in your hands. If you're passionate about rare coins, vintage currency, and the fascinating stories behind them, you're in the right place. Don't forget to watch the full video, share it with your fellow collectors, like, and subscribe to stay updated with more valuable content every week. So let's get started. The United States of America 1972 D Washington Quarter is a fascinating coin within modern numismatics, as it sits firmly in the middle of the clad era of American coinage. Struck at the Denver Mint, the coin bears the mint mark D on the obverse to the right of George Washington's portrait. Like all circulating quarters produced from 1965 onward, after the elimination of silver in general circulation, the 1972 D is made of a copper-nickel clad composition, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. This gave the coin its distinctive silvery appearance while making production more economical for the U.S. Mint. The coin weighs 5.67 grams, has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and a reeded edge that not only details clipping, the practice of shaving off precious metal from the edges, but also preserves tradition from when U.S. coinage contained silver. The removal of silver from quarters in 1965 was a response to rising silver prices, and the 1972 D quarter reflects the full adoption of the clad standard that became the norm for everyday circulating coinage. On the obverse, the coin features a long-established portrait of George Washington, designed in 1932 by sculptor John Flanagan. The bust shows Washington facing left, with finely detailed hair tied back in a colonial-style queue. Above Washington's head appears the word liberty, reminding Americans of the founding ideals of the Republic. To the left of the bust, near the neckline, is a national motto, "In God We Trust," which had been appearing on quarters since the 1930s but had been a feature on other U.S. coinage as early as the Civil War era. Below Washington's bust appears the date 1972, flanked by the small mint mark D for Denver. The Denver Mint was the sole producer of these particular marked quarters, though 1972 quarters were also struck in Philadelphia, with no mint mark, and San Francisco, primarily proof coins bearing an S. The reverse design of the 1972 D quarter remains consistent with a long-running Washington quarter motif used from 1932 through 1998, except during the special bicentennial years of 1975 to 1976. It features a heraldic eagle with wings spread widely, designed by John Flanagan. The eagle perches atop a bundle of arrows, symbolizing preparedness or defense, and is framed below by two olive branches, signifying a desire for peace. Around the rim, the top legend reads, "United States of America," while just beneath it in smaller letters appears the motto E pluribus unum, out of many, one, which has been an American motto since the nation's founding. At the bottom rim, the denomination quarter dollar is inscribed, denoting the coin's value as 25 cents. The reverse design remained unchanged for decades, giving consistency and familiarity to the Washington Quarter series until the advent of the 50-state quarters program in 1999. The mintage of the 1972 D Washington Quarter was extremely high, reflecting the mass production of circulating coinage in the 1970s. Over 311 million pieces were struck at the Denver Mint, ensuring that the coin was plentiful in circulation. Because of this high mintage, most circulated examples are worth only face value today, though their historical interest makes them collectible to those building date and mint mark sets. In higher grades, however, the 1972 D quarter becomes more appealing to collectors. Examples that have been preserved in mint state MS condition, especially those graded MS65 or higher, can carry premium values, since coins with few contact marks, strong luster, and sharp details are not easy to find given the heavy circulation most received. Coins graded MS67 are considered rare and valuable, often commanding significant premiums from advanced collectors. From a historical standpoint, the 1972 D quarter represents an era of great change in American society. The early 1970s were years marked by political upheaval, the ongoing Vietnam War, and shifting economic conditions. Within the mint, it was also a period of transition. The massive mintages reflected both population growth and the increasing reliance on coinage for everyday transactions. Paper money was generally reserved for larger denominations, while coins like the quarter were workhorses of commerce. The 1972 issues, struck just before the national bicentennial celebrations began, symbolize a pre-bicentennial period of continuity before the dramatic redesigns of 1976. Numismatically, there are a number of interesting varieties and errors associated with 1972D quarters. Collectors sometimes seek examples with doubled dies, off-center strikes, clip planches, odd die cracks, which add character and rarity to otherwise common issues. For instance, some 1972D quarters are known with obverse or reverse doubling, where elements like the motto "In God We Trust" or details of the eagle appear doubled due to a misaligned hubbing process. Other notable errors can include broad strikes, where the coin is struck outside the collar, creating an expanded flan, off-center strikes showing missing portions of the design, or even wrong planchet errors where the quarter was mistakenly struck on a dime or foreign coin planchet. These errors are far scarcer than normal strikes and can fetch substantial premiums on the collector market, sometimes hundreds of dollars depending on severity and uniqueness. The cultural resonance of the Washington quarter, including the 1972D issue, cannot be overstated. Washington was chosen to appear on the quarter in 1932, during the bicentennial of his birth, and his image became a permanent feature, displacing the standing Liberty quarter. The decision to keep Washington on the quarter reflected his central place in American history as a Revolutionary War general and first president of the United States. By 1972, the Washington quarter had already become an iconic part of daily American life, carried in pockets and purses, used in vending machines, phone booths, laundromats, and everyday commerce. Today, the 1972D quarter remains common in circulation, though many people set them aside when found, especially if they are in better-than-average condition. Collectors who pursue complete Washington quarter collections by date and mint mark always need the 1972D as a core entry. While most examples are inexpensive, they serve as a reminder of an important era in American coinage and continue to hold sentimental as well as numismatic value. The United States of America bicentennial quarter, officially dated 1776 to 1976, is one of the most famous and widely collected modern coins produced by the U.S. Mint. Its release coincided with the nation's bicentennial celebrations, marking 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776. This coin is unique because it carries a dual date 1776 to 1976 rather than a single year, something that immediately sets it apart from regular quarters. It was struck in huge quantities for circulation, as well as in special collector sets, and has remained a beloved reminder of America's patriotic heritage. On the obverse, the coin retains a traditional design featuring George Washington's portrait, first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Washington's birth. The obverse legend around Washington's bust reads "Liberty" at the top and "In God We Trust" on the left side of his profile, with a dual date 1776 to 1976 placed at the bottom. This dual dating is perhaps the most distinctive feature of the obverse and was specifically chosen to symbolize both the founding year of the United States and the 200th anniversary of independence. Washington's bust was engraved by John Flanagan, whose design has remained a staple on U.S. quarters for decades, though slightly modified over the years. The reverse of the bicentennial quarter, however, is what makes it historically significant and visually striking. Instead of the usual eagle design that had been featured on quarters for decades, the reverse displays a patriotic motif selected through a nationwide design competition held in the early 1970s. The winning design, created by Jack L.R., features a colonial drummer standing in front of a victory torch encircled by 13 stars, each star representing one of the original 13 colonies. The drummer is depicted in full colonial attire, with his head turned slightly as though he is caught mid-beat, symbolizing both revolutionary spirit and a call to unity. To the right of the drummer's figure is a torch encircled with a ring of 13 stars, further emphasizing the connection to America's revolutionary origins and the unity of the colonies that became states. The words United States of America curve around the top rim, while the denomination quarter dollar is displayed at the bottom. Just below the colonial drummer's left arm is a motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, a reference to the union of states forming one nation. This reverse design was struck only for quarters issued between 1975 and 1976, even though all of them bear the dual date 1776 to 1976. No quarters actually carried the single-date 1975, as that year was entirely reserved for striking the bicentennial issues. Compositionally, the bicentennial quarter was struck in two different formats: the regular circulating version made of copper-nickel clad, with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, and special 40% silver-clad collector versions, which were sold in proof and uncirculated sets by the U.S. Mint. The circulation strikes were produced at multiple mints, including Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The San Francisco Mint also produced the special 40% silver-clad versions, which today remain more valuable due to their limited mintage and silver content. The clad circulation issues weigh 5.67 grams with a diameter of 24.3 millimeters and feature a reeded edge, consistent with other Washington quarters of the era. The silver versions have the same dimensions but differ in composition, being composed of 40% silver and 60% copper, with a net silver weight of 0.07812 troy ounces. Historically, the bicentennial quarter was part of a larger commemorative coin program that included three denominations: the quarter dollar, half dollar, and $1 coin. Each carried a unique bicentennial reverse design celebrating the nation's 200th anniversary. Unlike most commemorative coins, which are struck in relatively low numbers and often not released into general circulation, the bicentennial coins were produced in massive quantities and circulated widely, ensuring that nearly every American could hold a piece of the nation's bicentennial celebration in their hands. This was a deliberate decision by Congress and the Mint, who wanted the coins to serve not just as collectibles but also as everyday reminders of American independence. From a numismatic perspective, the bicentennial quarter is fascinating not only for its historical importance but also for the various die varieties, minting anomalies, and conditions in which it can be found. High-grade uncirculated examples, especially those with sharp strikes and minimal contact marks, are popular among collectors. The silver-clad proof issues are particularly prized for their deep cameo contrast and frosted devices. While most circulated examples carry only face value, coins in pristine mint state condition, particularly those graded MS-67 or higher by grading services such as PCGS or NGC, can command significant premiums. Likewise, the silver issues hold intrinsic bullion value, ensuring that even common examples are worth more than face value. The cultural significance of the bicentennial quarter cannot be overstated. It was minted during a time of reflection and celebration, as Americans marked 2 centuries of independence with parades, fireworks, and national pride. The colonial drummer design resonated with the spirit of the Revolution and gave everyday people a tangible connection to the historical moment. Today, these quarters continue to circulate occasionally, though most have been hoarded by collectors and the public due to their distinctive design. They serve as both a nostalgic keepsake and a reminder of a milestone in American history.